There we go. There we go. We're live now? Yeah? Yeah? What's she doing? Yeah. Alright, gentlemen. Let's work. Okay. Check the Discord. Ah! Spoilers! In production. Leaks. The Goop collab. Checking out some of his work. That looks good right there. Responding to these messages and then we'll get to work. Checking out some stuff Goob sent on he's adding some more like Old Republic stuff into Rebels, and we're going to be dealing with some of that today in my edit as well. That looks cool. Interesting. Looking at how he did these effects. Boom. Interesting. Let's try this. Messages answered. The tea is ready. Okay. I am in the middle of a conversation here, so I am gonna be pretty quiet. I'll explain some of my work, but it's a lot of Mandalore right now. I hate how this happened. Why did my captions do this? It looks so weird. This happened last time I tried to bring them over. They're like so... And they always look different when it's paused compared to moving, but... I don't like this. What is causing that? Like, why do they look so weird around the edges? I'll fix it later. So where I am right now, this is the Book of Boba Fett, episode 5. I'm using that as the beginning of book 5, and I am at the section where Din first arrives at the covert. Such an odd word for their clan. I don't know why they didn't just like have a clan name they went by or call themselves Death Watch. It's really odd. Like they are Death Watch, but they never refer to themselves as that, or at least they... Well, Din was saved by Death Watch. I always kind of assumed, like, the armor was still part of it, like an ancient form of it. But anyway, check this out. So, after I revoiced all of the Klatooinians, so he doesn't speak that really weird English anymore. So he speaks like a deep Huttese, which their species could either speak Klatooinian or they spoke Huttese. A lot of them worked for Hutts. So they look, they sound different now. If she'll play. Will she? Will she play? Come on, my darling. So I'm going to try and find different voice lines just as much as I can match the mouth movements. But even when it's English, like, it doesn't match anyways. A lot of the aliens in Star Wars, the words don't really match their mouths. But I want to try as much as I can. And they do like this type of stuff on purpose where they have voice lines from far away. Because it just looks weird when you have these like practical prosthetic masks. Yeah, I mean, how the heck are you going to animate lips on there unless you're doing CGI on top of it, which you would do if you're trying to make something super high quality. But they don't always have the budget to do that. So these guys speak Huttese now. And then once Din finishes the bounty, finishes with them, and gets to this covert, a lot of new Mandalore in here, so I have the armor repeating this prayer. Oh, I hate when I do that. Son of a gun. It's so finicky. I don't... Okay, I can live with that. Like, you try and grab this, and you accidentally grab that, and it, like, throws... Look how sensitive that is. From, like, that will mess up your whole workspace. That does what I want, and it's, like, the tiniest little hair. Anyways, so the armor is whispering this prayer, which this is like an actual Mandalorian recitation they would say, and her as the armorer, the forge master, the ancient orator of their history. She would be the one performing this rite. Prism. What's up, Prism? A lot of people call me Akbagel. It's actually AC Bagel. AC Bagel. You can call me Akbagel if you like to, though. So you want that to be my pet name? Alright. I'm not going to complain. So she's like whispering this Mandalorian prayer. Shoya, if you end up getting in this chat, I need Shoya, the Mandalorian master. But I think I did all this right. So what this is, the Mandalorians would say this in remembrance of those who fell. And what this is the first time we've seen the Armorer since the end of Season 1, which is the end of Book 2. So 2 full films have gone by without us seeing her. We know many Mandalorians died there. They relocated. They never really explained how it went from just the armor and Paz to that whole group of like ragtag Mandalorians on Rockworld. They made like no attempt to explain that, and again, according to Disney's timelines, like the end of Book of Boba Fett, and that is like a couple weeks at most. So it's really odd how they gathered all those people. I'm still trying to brainstorm how to fix that plot line in the next film, but that's not, well, I guess I do address that in this one, you're right. So I will get to that later. But the Mandalorians would repeat this phrase, I'm still alive, but you are dead, I remember you, so you are eternal, and then they would say the name of the clan member who died. So I'm having her do this like remembrance chant of everyone who died in their clan at Navarro. All these names, these are all clan names from EU and Legends. This one's from Legacy of the Force. This is from the Old Republic. Of course, the Ordo clan, very important throughout Mandalorian history. Had a Mandalore come from that line. And then I like how I did this here where like she can't be interrupted. She's so serious about this stuff. Like she's not gonna just stop. Like this I love this point because it shows how sacred this ritual is. It teaches you so much about her as a character, just that little moment. But she's not just going to ignore Din. Again, at this point, she doesn't know that Din is apostate worthy. So, immediately tells Paz to help him. He comes over and she just instantly continues her prayers again. Like she's doing something. And she's not going to be interrupted. Of course, the Meriel clan, Jaster Meriel, the Jungle Fett's mentor. So then I need to make a cut here because I am moving all of this. I'm replacing this whole segment in my film with a new one that I've been working on. I don't want any of this, actually. I'm going far. I'm deleting a lot of this. I don't like the original here. Again, it's not just the English, the basic they speak. I'm not a fan of that. All of the content of the conversation. This moment is decent with the Darksaber. I'll tell you some of the changes I made when I go into my cut of this scene, which are very extensive, and I've made it about like this-ish far, I think. Yeah, okay, I got to here. So I'm rebuilding this whole segment with pretty much exclusively Mandalore and totally changing the meaning of the Darksaber, the history of the Mandalorian culture needs to be integrated into here. So let me show you what I've been building for that segment. A lot of this is the same. So the differences start here, like with pause. Yeah, I want to start right here. Rebirth. Yeah, that's a different track from season 3. I don't want that. So the differences I have in here, of course, line's the same, but Paz speaks Mandalore. I timed this up, so he's speaking Mandalore, but I still get like the pained grunt delivery of the word Navarro. So this is, I changed this dialogue because what Din says, I am sorry for your sacrifice, and he says, there's only 3 of us left. That was my first attempt to fix the group at the Rock World. It can't just be them 3. I mean, at least if we can say it's a few of us, a handful of us, that we're maybe less than 10, you can assume, but better than just saying it's only us 3 and then 2 weeks later there's like 50 of them on this Rock World. Why did your previous covert not have 50? They never explain that. So trying to address that aspect. Run through the rest of the conversation. And Paz is like kind of angry right now. You know, he did his duty to save Din, but he's regretful of how it all went down, of course. He lost most of his family, essentially. So I've timed it out with these like more snippy lines, like as he's maybe a little bit enjoying causing Din pain there. Oh, shoot. Okay. That is because I need to save this as a preset. I found these settings that I think works really well as a natural echo. this area. There's no soundtrack there. I can just copy that and throw it in a few times. It just sounds more natural when most people talk, they fade off their last words, so throwing it in there helps it sound pretty natural. I think my armor voice model sounds very, very good. It's probably my favorite one I have. The Paz one sounds really good too. Din is very, very hard to replicate because Pedro Pascal speaks in this like throaty whisper for a lot of it. Some of it he doesn't. He speaks pretty clearly. Din does, especially further in. The more we got into season 3, the more Din's voice changes. So I have different models of Din's voice for each season. He sounds very, very different in season 3 compared to season 1. So all of this shows a little bit of the reverence of the blade. Din knows what it is from the get-go. This is an ancient Mandalorian legendary weapon that he at least would have heard stories of. Like maybe he has doubts if it's the actual thing, but he kind of knows it is deep down. In the show, they make him look like a complete dunce and he doesn't know any of the Mandalorian history, and she has to like teach him because they use the armor as like exposition for a new audience who's only watching the show for Grogu. That just doesn't work for storytelling purposes. To have Din familiar with this weapon already, and she doesn't have to baby talk him, works so much better. And it makes the Darksaber have so much more meaning. Because you get to see the reverence everybody has from it from the get-go. It's not this like big mystery. What is this thing? I didn't know about this. Like, come on, this is like how you used to rule Mandalore. Like, what do you mean? And of course, like, Paz instantly knows what it is, so it makes Din look really stupid when he doesn't. I've always hated that decision from Disney. I mean, it instantly makes Din seem unworthy to wield the blade. How the heck do you not know what this thing is? Oh, that's gone. I fixed all that. I mean, look how he's holding it. And now, like, when Din pulls it out, he's almost, like, regretful to do so because, like, he won it on accident, basically. At the end of The Way of Mandalore Book 4 and a Season 2 Mandalorian, like, Din's not trying to reclaim the Darksaber. He's just trying to be a dad for Grogu. And it leads to this. Him having the blade, this ancient Mandalorian weapon that lets him lay claim to the title of Mandalore and rule all of the clans, reunite the whole planet. So he's kind of, it's the burden, kind of like Satine felt in Rebels, where she's like, shoot, I know what that thing is. I don't want that responsibility. I just want to deal with my house, my own issues, that kind of thing. I'm fine with that sentence in English, basic, compared to Mandoa. I like the delivery a lot from the actress, and it's more like a speculative statement. Mandalorians speak very direct, so when they switch to basic, I like it for it to be a purpose, and this sounds unique enough from their normal speaking patterns where it's like, yeah, that sounds better in basic to get across the ideas that she was trying to convey. Had to boost that sound. It's really puny in Disney's version, so I put some effects on there to really make this thing pop. In Disney, Din doesn't know. He's like, "Oh, I have been told it is the Darksaber." No, he needs to know what that thing is immediately. Ooh, good question in the chat from Hardwick Bentho. I thought you made book 5 already. I think I downloaded it. Yeah, 2 years ago. I had a really old version out, probably early, no, maybe later 2023. Probably has almost been 2 years. I've changed a lot of my plans in the meantime for this series. One of the biggest changes I made was discovering I really could not make enough content for 7 films. I had to cut it down to 6, and I'm turning book 6 into a 2.5 to 3 hour movie inspired by Endgame. So that necessitated a lot of re-edits and replanning of stuff, and then as I started again from book 1 and was putting in a lot of final updates and lore touch-ups, it was time to unrelease book 5. I never actually I put it out on one website with some feelers. If you're on Original Trilogy, you probably got it from there. But normally when I do my full releases, I throw it up on Movies Remastered, on Reddit, all over my social medias and stuff. And yeah, I'm changing a lot. All the Boba content is going into the next film. Boba's not in this film anymore. He'll still get his due for sure in the next movie. I think what I have now is a vast improvement of my previous attempt. I hope you'll be able to see that soon. Any other planned fan edits after Mando? Great question. Yes, for sure. What are they gonna be? I'm so torn. Part of me wants... I want to make another chapter of the Supernatural Encounters audiobook again at some point. I'm not sure if I'll do it right after Mando. But I adapted half of the last chapter I worked on. I've done 3.5 chapters now. 20, 21, 22, 23, 4.5 actually. So I do need to finish that chapter at least at some point. Those take a while. Those take me at least a month to make. It's a very difficult project to take on. As far as re-edit stuff, I am most intrigued by Andor next, and as soon as I watched season 1, I said I'm not going to touch an Andor re-edit until season 2 comes out, because there was a lot of plot lines that they didn't follow up on, like Cassian, his sister, and stuff. So I'm like, what are they even doing with a lot of this? Why are they introducing some of this stuff if you're not going to follow it up for years for the audience? So anyways, Andor intrigues me. Ahsoka, I think, can benefit so much from an edit too. But again, I need season 2 for that. So I've always wanted to take a crack at the Phantom Menace as well. But most likely, either I roll right from finishing this and I go into Andor. That will be happening probably right as Andor season 2 wraps up, which will help me with that decision-making process, and then I'll probably finish that chapter of Supernatural Encounters, and then kind of open book. I'm open to pitches for what to do next. What do you guys think needs re-edited? What could I do? I'm really open to it. And I started the Bad Batch project, but I thought Bad Batch peaked in the middle of season 2. And I kind of thought it was all downhill from there. was it the clone conspiracy type of episode with Palpatine at the end? Like, that was peak Bad Batch. I thought it was a pretty mid show up until then, but I was like, oh man, this thing's getting better. Like the Clone Wars got better over time, and I just did not like season 3. The visual quality was amazing. I loved it, but I was not impressed by the storytelling. There's like Omega getting captured by the scientists like 5 different times and then breaking out by the cheesiest ways in the most secure Imperial bases. I thought it got really, really lazy towards the end, and I just wasn't a fan of the storyline direction, so I kind of lost a lot of motivation on the Bad Batch content. But I might go back to it at some point. There's definitely so much potential for a Bad Batch edit, and it's a series that nobody else has like laid claim to yet. Eddie Dean is the Clone Wars master, Goob is the Rebels master. No one has really tried to completely revitalize the Bad Batch, and that's what intrigues me most. Are you updating the visuals? The 2023 versions look muddy, blurry, and the colors. Yeah, definitely visuals are upgraded. This is all going to be in 4K now. This end product will be unrecognizable in a good way compared to the like first draft of book 5 that you have from years ago. Throw that one out of your memory. Some of the concepts are going to be the same, but this one's my true vision. Prism says Acolyte starts with opening title card and cuts to credits. That's funny. Yeah, great edit. I don't even want to attempt the Acolyte, honestly. I'd have to like revoice every single character. Maybe you could do like a Black and Mantle Journal of the Wills type of edit where you take the Japanese dub and remake a story from scratch. Like that's put it into like a live action Seasons of Star Wars Visions or something. Considering that that story is unsalvageable. Yeah, especially like the goal of my series with like all my projects are to make them feel more like the EU, more like George Lucas stuff. What the heck? You can't do that with the Acolyte. It's just impossible. So that belongs in a flaming dumpster. Goob wants to take a stab at the Bad Batch at some point. You guys really like that show in your household? Season 3 was the weakest. Needs a lot of overhauls. There's definitely something to it. There's something there, but a lot of the themes that it wanted to tell get lost in the sauce. I mean, there's, of course, so much filler in that show. In all 3 seasons, but there's something there that intrigues me for sure. When you want to start working on that after Rebels, let's definitely chat first, because I did quite a bit of work on Season 1. I got like halfway through Season 1, and I really liked what I was doing, and I still get a lot of requests for that edit, and I feel kind of guilty because I never finish. I don't like to start things that I don't finish. Oh! Speaking of things that I started and didn't finish, my Kenobi edit. I'm definitely going to do that. But I'm waiting on the Pixel Joker 95 edit. I'm on his Shadow Council. So I've seen like a lot of his behind the scenes work. Yeah, he's got like 4 or 5 people in like a Shadow Council. And he shares stuff occasionally or has us review things. But yeah, that thing's coming. And once it releases, he's going to be sharing all his VFX with everybody. And it's like, what he's doing is a once-in-a-generation type of edit. It's genuinely incredible, and there won't be anything like it for another 10-plus years, I'm sure. So I gotta wait for that. I want him to get all the attention, and it's like, why am I gonna release a lesser product? What his talents are world-class. I mean, honestly, he worked on Andor. Like, he's getting hired by the best companies, but sadly, that industry is a mess right now, and he's had a lot of personal struggles. Yeah, for sure. Hype through the roof for him. Omega is so annoying. Thought Bad Batch was going to be a Suicide Squad type show. My biggest initial complaint with the Bad Batch was the characters were such stereotypes. Wrecker drove me crazy. In my edits, I was making him more like the silent giant type. So he's not this like 4 IQ doofus. He's like really serious. He's like, you know, the papa figure for Omega. I had to, you know, I toned down tech a little bit. I don't want to like neuter their personalities, especially because Republic commandos, they have to be a little bit stereotypical. Like even going back to the video games, Scorch was your bomb guy, Sev was your battle-hardened sniper, you know, Fixer was the nerd type of guy, and then Boss was the guy who brought them all together. And Karen Travis novels have, I mean, like clones, they kind of like develop one stereotype, and that's like their only way to identify themselves, really. So you do want to keep that, but I mean, everyone knows the Bad Batch got a little ridiculous with some of it. Like, Wrecker has like a stuffed animal, guys. He cries into his stuffed animal. He's got a little teddy bear. Like, okay, I don't need that much. Like, what is his stereotype a baby? Watched first season of Bad Batch. I thought I hated the show, then watched it again and found out I loved it. That's cool. Yeah, I have watched, I mean, I probably watched season 1 like 4 or 5 times. Only watched season 3 once. Only watched season 2 once. I watched season 2 twice. Season 3 once, and I was just like, man, I got let down by 3. Disney can't even stick their own canon, especially Filoni. Yeah. Filoni's not good with timelines or definitive things. Hardwick, are you adding any John Williams music anywhere? Oh, yeah. Definitely. Not only John Will. I mean, like, I have the Force theme in there a couple times. Mostly with the Luke Skywalker scenes coming up. I'm trying to think of any direct John Williams. I mean, part of it, you want the Mandalorian to be unique. Like, if John Williams would have... I'm trying to present this as like another Star Wars saga, essentially. And if John Williams would have done another saga, he wouldn't constantly be pulling his old stuff. So I know a lot of people like to throw Duel of the Fates all over lightsaber fights, and I'm actually against that kind of thing. I want stuff to sound Star Warsy, but still unique. And innovate. So I pull in things like my last film, I did the Dark Forces video game soundtrack. Somebody did an orchestral remake of it, and I used that for the Dark Troopers theme. So I try and pull from the old stuff, but not overdo it. Filoni, I love Godzilla, puts Godzilla monster ripoffs in filler. Of course, episode, yeah, for sure. The monster of the week type of thing got kind of bad in both of those shows at times. All right, got through all the chat. Woo! Back to work. So, yeah, I make Din answer definitively that he does know what the dark saber is. Now I have a Discord message. Oh boy, here we go. Ooh, yeah, that's definitely looking better. All the bugs with the... Yeah, that's pretty close. It's definitely getting there. I don't know, how do you... Is there any way to, like, upscale that planet texture? I'm not showing you guys on... Sorry, I know I'm talking about stuff. This one looks a lot better, too. That looks like a distortion effect coming out of hyperspace. That's definitely an improvement. Yeah. Feel free to show it. All right, all right. I have permission to leak. There you go. Nice. Okay. So King Goob is integrating Malachor 5 rather than the like random Malachor planet that was in Rebels. We are actually going to be visiting Malachor 5. It makes sense because you have that like Kreia holocron that was definitely Kreia, but they were so scared to commit. Filoni's commitment problems, like somebody was talking about earlier. So, yeah, the boys will be visiting Malachor 5. Sick. It's gonna. He's making it to feel very, very different than original. It'll bring a tear to your eye. So she asks Din what he knows of the blade. Heck yeah, eyeballs. And then he answers affirmatively rather than this doubtful answer from the show. So now he just says, like he knows, the man knows. Indeed, she says, Balban. It's the Mandalorian word for, and you understand its importance. Too loud there. Okay, and this is where I need to start working again. So that's my review of book 5 so far. And what I've gotten through is like the first 14 minutes of the film. All of this stuff is brand new. I need to completely rewrite this because I loathe it. Let's listen to her original. First of all, I hate this delivery. That sounds weird. She's so like peaceful sounding. You're talking about like killing another Mandalorian. This isn't if it's won in battle. No, this is very serious. But it's more the content of what she says right here that I need to change. That's kind of just an awkward phrase. It is said that one warrior will defeat 20 and the I mean, she's talking about the deadliness of the blade, but there's certainly a better way that you can convey that idea than just saying that. This is the type of stuff where you need to be appealing to ancient Mandalorian history. Like, tell a story of a Mandalore who wiped out an entire house with this blade or something like that. This dialogue is just way too simple and expository for the audience. And I've always been confused why she says unto the nation. What? What does that mean? The nation? The nation of what? The nation of Mandalore? I don't know. I always thought that was oddly phrased. No sound for my edit. What? Oh my goodness. What a disaster. I'm gonna show you. This isn't my fault. I promise. Well, that's right. Is it my Adobe settings it's resetting? Oh my gosh. Well, at least there's subtitles on most of this. What am I just totally forget. I'm looking for audio. Audio hardware. Son of a gun. That looks right. I can definitely see OBS is not bouncing my audio. So need that. That's all it needed. Well, hey, I dodged some copyright strikes. I destroyed my content, but I dodged the copyright. So was it worth? Yes. No. Religion, nation, who cares? They'll contradict themselves 5 minutes later. Yeah. It's definitely super messy. So I'm rewriting this entire thing like right now.
It will be a curse unto the nation.
It's just really bad. It's so basic. I had a draft that I was working on earlier. Let me try and find that. Start recording some voice lines. Okay, so our first line to replace is...
If it is won by creed in battle.
If it is won by creed in battle.
It is said one warrior will defeat 20, and the multitudes will fall before it.
And I don't even think those lines connect. So, if the blade is won in battle, then it is said that one warrior will defeat 20. I mean, that doesn't really flow too well. Like, those concepts don't really connect. What does winning it in battle have to do with them saying
it is said?
It is said. That's what doesn't really connect there. And the multitudes will fall before it. Yeah. I want to have the armorer start creating this tension with Bo-Katan because she knows the history of the Darksaber. She knows what Bo-Katan did. She freaking hates Bo-Katan. So I definitely want to convey the idea of it must be won in battle or it's dishonorable. They just conveyed that really poorly here with odd language. And I do hope my boy Shoya jumps in here at some point so he can help me with the Mandalore translations. Because I think here she should be talking pretty exclusively Mandalore. Okay, so I wanted to say...
If it is...
I'll probably say, according to creed, the Darksaber must be claimed in honorable battle.
If it is won by creed in battle.
Like, what does won by creed in battle? Like, it's just so oddly and clunky phrased how she has it. So, now I need to translate. I'll show you guys how I try to translate with some help from... Shoya gave me some better resources to do this. This might not be the most entertaining thing in the world, but hey, this is what an edit of this type takes. So, I also have this one helps. Ew, where'd my dark mode go? This did used to be dark mode. This helps me get like a baseline. Is this it? This is the same site. I don't know. It looks different than when I used it earlier. Okay, so I need according to. Now, Mandalore doesn't always have like direct translatory words. So I gotta get a little creative with it. SWA, the authority of Star Wars, asks, why is there a whole helmet, no helmet thing? What's the difference? Season 3, Bo could do both at some point, even after she bathed. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. I am definitely going to be addressing that, my friend. It will it will be explained so much differently than the show, and it has to do with the mythosaur. The introduction of the mythosaur on Mandalore is huge. I mean, that's something that could like reunite the clans. So everything, and according to Krea's prophecy of the Mandalorians, which should be binding, again, this is an EU edit. Listen to this. This has to be true. And it did come true. But and I wouldn't say this is like forever, for all of time, but for a very, very, very extended period, and this will have an impact forever. So, of the Mandalorians, Krea prophesies that they will die a death that will last millennia, until all that remains is their code, their history, and in the end, the shell of their armor upon the shell of a man, too easily slain by Jedi. So the extent at which this prophecy will go is that Mandalorians will never again become like galactic conquerors. I mean, at one point they were like terrorizing the Republic, and they had Sith backing then too for centuries. But in some essence, this must remain true. And I would say really the only thing that could kind of shake this up and give the Mandalorians hope again is the reemergence of a mythosaur, which was like the foundational principle. It was like essentially the Mandalorian god originally, and they would ride them in battle and conquer. So, and they've been extinct for forever basically. So that they like use it in season 3, but it's done so poorly, and it has like no conclusion. Like Bo-Katan sees it in the beginning of the season. It seems like it's going to be impactful, and then it doesn't even come back for the final battle. The camera like goes back underwater at the very end, and you see an eyeball again, which is no different than what happened the first time. It was just so poorly done. So when Bo-Katan sees it, it will be a very, very religious and life-changing event that will shake up the rest of the film series for me. That's the plan with that. Star Wars Authority. Prisms. Any other TV series or films in Star Wars like Mando Season 3 that had major reshoots? Such another example is T-Roz. But what about TV-wise? Did Kenobi experience major reshoots? I don't think Kenobi did. I think Kenobi was just kind of crap from the get-go. I didn't hear anything about major reshoots in Kenobi. Mando Season 3 got them. Book of Boba Fett got them. I didn't follow the production of Kenobi very closely, though. Oh, yeah, that helps so much. We'll show a little leak for the live viewers. This is Goob's project on bringing Malachor 5. Pretty good. It's coming along. Trying to think that the only other advice I would probably give on that is, unfortunately, and it's a pain in the ass, but those like green cracks are basically lightning. They're like green crackly lightning, which would kind of suck to put in there, but it would make it look cooler. Sorry to tell you. Sorry to put that pressure upon you. I wouldn't say it's necessary, especially because that was like thousands and thousands of years ago and the last time we see Malachor 5, so. Boba should have rode the Mythosaur instead of a Rancor. Yeah. Boba should have come to Mandalore. The Mythosaur should have come out, and he should have rode it. Bo-Katan should have died. Boba should have taken the Darksaber. There you go. That's Boba was Mandalore in the EU. I really wish they would have gone down that route. I think Bo-Katan is a kind of a cool Mandalore in general. She has so much history, but honestly, I would say I like her as Mandalore more than I do Din. I think Din would be a really bad Mandalore. It's just not his personality. Put the green. Okay, haha, shots that are too long, so I might go for some lingering. Yeah, it's coming along though for sure, Goob. Find it confusing that Bo-Katan is shown as so heroic in The Mandalorian when she was villainous. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she was like Death Watch for a while, and like she was pretty villainous in the Mandalorian until this, like until the end of season 3. So that's why again I need to make the Mythosaur like completely change her as a person. It needs to change everything because she's got all these rivalries and. They should have done like a whole Mandalorian clan civil war thing again with this is the route they should have gone for season 3. And then they all, like at the end, they still should have united around somebody very clearly as their new Mandalore. All that should have happened, but it happened way too easily and it was very undeserved in how it played out. Paz Vizsla versus Boba Fett. Poor Boba Fett. Yeah, that would. Yeah, I mean, you should have had the Krees, the Night Owls, and the Krees clan fighting the Vizsla House. The Armorer should have tried to like resurrect Death Watch essentially and claim it. Din would have been caught in the middle and probably just been like, I don't care. This, I think, would be in character for him, which is why I think he would be a terrible Mandalore. And then Boba Fett, I think, should have just ended up with it. Like, Jango had to take the title of Mandalore for a while after the Mandalorian Civil Wars of the prequel era. And he had to do it without a Darksaber, without a Mask of Mandalore. So now that you had it, yeah, there definitely should have been multiple wars fought over this thing between Mandalorian clans. They tried too much to make the Mandalorians seem like good guys. Like they have them rescue Navarro, and then they're so nice. Like that's not what Mandalorians are. They are. Like I get they change and they've gone through eras of differences, but they made all of them passive. They didn't even have like a villainous clan of Mandalorians here. There's no conflict. Like everyone just gets along so easily. Okay, back to Mandoa. I need to write this. Okay, so I'm saying according. There's probably not an according to. This is where it gets hard, so I have to like thesaurus. What else could I say? I want to say the phrase according to creed. I mean, there's probably not. Is there even a word for creed in? And you've got like the Rezolnar, but that's, I guess you could say that. The 6 actions, the tenets of the Mandalorian life. Oh wow, I've been saying that so wrong. I've been pronouncing it the Rezolnar. Rezolnare. According to Rezolnare. Yikes, I need to flashcard that one. The pronunciations are hard to get a hang of. You have to remember that the YCs end in ish or ich rather than eek. Oh, huck. That sounds so Mandalorian. Yeah, it became too many of them in season 3. Yeah, they were all like a big happy family. Like they did the one dispute between Paz and who was it? Like the Wanderer clan on Mandalore. The weird pirate ones. I thought that was kind of just a dumb plot line to begin with. And all I could see was Skinny Pete and that guy. Sorry. It's sad when actors that happens to them where they like become one person, and when people watch them in other shows, it's just like, you're not a Mandalorian, you're Skinny Pete. The meth Mandalorian. Hardwick. The title of your previous stream mentioned a new Luke deepfake. Did you mean one that's different from the old Shamook one? I did mean one that's different than the old Shamook one. There is one. So I mapped this other one on top of the Shamook one, and it looks so good. It's the best this is still 2019 deepfake technology. It's crazy to say, but that's 6 years ago, guys. Nuts. Maybe 2020. That's the same. Jarkan VFX. I'll show you the one I used. It is much improved. So I used the Shamook one in the background. Then I took this one. So this is the side. I took that one and I mapped this on top of the Shamook one. And if you do like just a little bit of opacity here and let you see some of Shamook's improvements on top of Jarkan's improvements, it's the best I've seen.
He wants your permission.
The texture on Luke's face is so good on this one. You know, the mouth movements, deepfake technology didn't really know how to do lip sync as well. But look at the difference. Holy cow. This isn't Shamook, this is the Disney one. Shamook's looks better than this. But straight up, the Jarkan one is pretty fire. Mandalorian. Yeah, I was trying to come up with that and it wasn't coming to mind. Okay. So, Rey Sulnari. What's a word? What can I say that's like according to? I'm gonna have to go to a thesaurus here, guys. I can't. For some reason, I can't think of that word right now. What is synonymous enough with according? No. Huh? Dang, there's really not a... Is there no other English word that works? In agreement with. That might be what I... You have to get a little clunky with Mandoa. Okay, the weak matches are better. I mean, they're not going to have that. Accordant. I guess agreement would be like... So you could say, like, in agreement with the creed, the Darksaber must be won in honorable battle. Is there agree? Yes! Okay. So we can go Jorlek here. This is where I have to think of how this sentence would be phrased. Infinitive. You gotta know like real grammar to be able to pull this off. I told you this stream is sometimes, guys, I spend hours just doing this. Might not be the most entertaining thing to watch, but hey, this is my life. Which one? So if you say in agreement with the creed, the blade must be won. So what would that be? Is that the infinitive form of the sentence? So you'd say Jorlek here. According to Rey Sulnari, the Darksaber must be one in honor battle. Gotta talk a little clunky. Drolakirat resonare. Now I can translate. Oh, they don't have one. I need, like, they do have a word for victory. To win, so I need Pargir. In agreement with the Resolnare, sorry. The Dark Saber. Alright. How would that translate? They have a word for saber, I know. Cad. This is what the Dark Saber was in our EU headcanon stuff. This is the Tong invented this. And then I like to say the Dark Saber was essentially like the ultimate best god. Jedi sword. I mean, you wouldn't say that. You'd say, like, something else apostrophe cod. You'd call it like the... Oh. What they call it? Ow here. Kadao. So it'd either be ow or cad. Either of them could work, I think. And I mean, they have a word for dark, so it would be the dakad or the da'ao. What if I just do a space? What would that say? What if I call it like dark lightsaber? The dark Jedi lightsaber. I don't think you would do that. I might just go dakad. But that looks like my sentence I want for the armor. So, my dear, show me what you got. Into your oh, I didn't translate battle. Repeat battlefield. In battlefield. In a fight. Oh, there's no. I guess like a con would be the closest. Yeah, heck yeah, okay. So that can be synonymous with battle and war. So we'll go Akan. Vader being nerfed in Jedi Survivor is pathetic. Oh, 100%. That battle with Seer was terrible. That was awful. I just found out Sam Witwer was talking, and he saw the plans for The Force Unleashed 3 before it got canceled. And he said it was going to be revealed that Darth Vader was, like, letting Starkiller beat him in those other battles for a purpose. He didn't go into a ton of detail, but it was always odd to me how, like, messed up Vader got by Starkiller. I never liked that. But according to Sam Witwer, who's the voice actor of Starkiller, it was all going to be like part of Vader's plan, and he was just going to like wreck Starkiller in the end. I think that would have been cool to see. Okay, let's get my sentence rolling. Here we go. Let's try this out. Let's start like right here.
Jorlekirat resol nare tedhakad entior juir pargirori jata kan.
Close. I didn't like how she said Resolnari. For her, my model's like so good. I don't, and she talks like really robotic. in the show. So a lot of the characters I have to voice myself. So sometimes you'll hear me recording, and then I put the AI models on top of my voice so it gets the right delivery. Her model, like, she only has one way of speaking. So there's, like, not much inflection a voice actor has to add on top of it. So it works better for what I've seen just to have her talk it straight, text to speech.
Jorlekirat resolnare. Tedakadentior juir pargirori jatakan.
Like that. That sounds good to me. That one works. There's line number 1 of 100. El Armorer. Dang. That's a long line.
It is said one warrior will defeat.
It's crazy. Like, this whole thing is that chunk. That's interesting. I mean, I changed some of the writing because this one was, like, really basic and kind of dumb. But so then next she wants to talk about how
Said one warrior will defeat 20.
it is said that one warrior will defeat 20 and the multitudes will follow.
Will fall before it.
Fall before it. This is where she needs to be, like, telling us a story about a previous Mandalore who, like, destroyed entire clans with this. That's what should be happening here. So I am going to probably be referencing Mandalore the Ultimate here. I want to say something like when wielded, let me think. I might even just say Mandalore the Ultimate wielded this weapon and brought the Republic to her knees. I do kind of want to... I want to get one other line in there about how the weapon united the clans. That's an important aspect. So if I go Mandalore the Ultimate wielded this weapon and legions of Mandalorians followed him and brought the Republic to her knees. I think that can work. Mandalore, write it out. This saber public means this saber and legions of Mandalorians fought and brought followed just finishing up the grammar on this. This is a starting place, I think. Whew. This Mandalore stuff takes a very long time. I'm not just gonna bullcrap at all. Mandalore the Ultimate once wielded the saber, and legions of Mandalorians followed him to bring the Old Republic to her knees. I'd say and brought the Old Republic. Kaish knees. They don't have a word for knees? Man, they don't have a what is the ultimate? Well, they do. Anila. Te Anila. Oops. I'm putting it on the wrong side. I'm sorry. Soul Ruler. Oh, interesting. It direct translates to Soul Ruler. Huh. Mandalore, the Ultimate, once wielded. I don't have a word for once. Say previous. Yep. Bajor. Wielded is probably gonna have to be something simple like used. Own. Come on. There we go. Ganar. Gatnar. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Mandalore the Ultimate once had this weapon and this saber, this Beskad, and legions of Mandalore. They. Okay, what is the word for legions? Oh wow. I'm gonna need this later. Sad Droten. That will be Republic. Terugla. Terugla. Sadrotin. Atkaishnis. This would work well, because you're saying like an alliance, a group of... It's just interesting, because that's like the same thing you say about the Republic, because it's a group. And Sad... Might even say like all actually might work better. On. That's simple. Is this? It's an adjective. I need like a noun. Oh, that could be Grogu's ball. His Rugam. I guess either Saad, On, or Tom. On would work, because I can say and all, so you're saying like in all Mandalorians. Followed. What is the word for followed? Past Rushekimi. Him? Oh, come on. There's a word for him. Can't auto-translate that one? Kaish. Oh, is it doing... No, yeah, because Kaish, him and her are the same word. They don't really distinguish. I don't know. It did her. It didn't do him. And Barot. All I need. This is the last one I need. I need knees and brought. Let's try bring. That's not the right. I'm doing this like anyone else on Earth is going to know the difference. But it matters to me. This is an inspiration to all future Star Wars directors. This is the type of stuff that should keep you up at night when you are trying to make a Star Wars production. You should lose sleep over this stuff. It's sacred. Okay, is there like forced? Forced to make a decision. It doesn't really work. Put. I could say to put. Interesting. What's the difference in the words are so close? Narir or narratir? There's no examples. Don't put your feet above your head. Always act with a plan. This one will work. Narir. The Republic. There's no way they're gonna have a word for knees. There's probably one for legs. Leg. There we go. Matun. Upper leg, thigh. It'll have to do. Motun. Mandalore, the ultimate, previously wielded this saber and brought all Mandalorians together to put the Republic on her knees. That's a long sentence. And that's what Mandalore looks like.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganare bik beska.
Alrighty, that one's busted.
Mandalore te anila da.
Yeah, you get a lot of these like really glitchy weird ones. Eventually it gets it right.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bik beskat balahan mandoa de rushe kemi kaish bal narir te ruglat sadrotnet kaish motun.
I like the delivery, it was just way too fast.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bich beskat balahan mandoa de rushe kemi kaish bal narir te ruglat sadroten at kaish motun.
It's pretty good. I might even take it a little slower.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bik beskat balahan mandoa de rushe kemi.
It's already wrong.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bik beskat balan mandoa de rushe kemi kaish bal narir te ruglat sad drotnet kaish motun.
I like the previous one can work. Question from SWA. What else besides Star Wars do you passionately like? That's a great question. My wife? No. I do. Sorry, not say no. I hope she's not watching this right now. I love my wife dearly. I know you're talking about like other franchises. The second greatest franchise on Earth and the third greatest franchise on Earth. Indisputable. Pull them up right now. And in third place for the greatest franchise on Earth, that is The Witcher! Woo! Yeah! Big Witcher guy. Read all the books, read every single comic. I got these bookmarked here. Look at this. I worked on this timeline with this guy. We mapped out every single Witcher thing ever. If you've never gone into The Witcher, it's time. Go for it. I'm in here. Look at that. AC Bagel. There I am. Proof. I am a Witcher fanatic. I wrote all this for the timeline stuff. Don't watch the show. Do not watch Netflix. Do not watch Netflix. It's not real. It's fake. Witcher is... I adore The Witcher. I know that he just released another book. Andrzej Sapkowski released... was it the 8th book? 8th Witcher book? But it's like a prequel one. Crossroad of Ravens. It's the English translation will be out later this year, and while I do speak caveman Ruski, Russian, I do not speak Polish, and the languages are different enough where Polish, Ukrainian, and Russian are, of course, all Slavic and close, but I can read some Russian. I cannot read Polish whatsoever. So, yeah, excited to read that later this year when the English translation comes out. And with the silver medal of the second best franchise ever created on Earth. Ba-ba-da-da! Mass Effect. I absolutely adore Mass Effect. Again, I've read every novel, all the comics. I think this storyline is just incredible. Character development, it's a much smaller world, I guess you could say, than... Did I make this one? I made a canon, I made a timeline of Mass Effect stuff too. This isn't even all of it, but there's a decent amount. Like, there's novel, comic. They made an anime. So there is a pretty solid amount of lore for Mass Effect. I cannot tell you how much I love this. Man. Such a great universe. Good old Shepard. Rex. Those are my 3 favorites. I know Lord of the Rings fans are probably wanting to hang me right now. My wife is really into Harry Potter. I think it's good. I haven't read the books yet. The movies were... I could, like, behind the movies, I could tell there was a good story behind them. I didn't think the movies were amazing. They certainly weren't bad. But I'll probably like Harry Potter once I read the books more. I read, like, the first 2 chapters of the first one recently, and I'll do the rest. Definitely at some point. Is there a way to edit the Tython scenes to be more logical? The part where Boba got Mando to put out... I know, the jetpack was so annoying. I hated that. I mean, the only thing you can really say is... Din forgot it. I mean, yeah, like, Boba has him take it off. I mean, they needed a reason why Din couldn't just, like, fly up and grab Grogu, I guess, out of the sky. I don't know. I did insane edits to that whole Tython battle, because that whole sequence was really poorly choreographed. But there are still some persistent problems like that will exist. That episode is, I would say, the worst directed thing in The Mandalorian in terms of, like, an action set piece. It's equivalent to the Book of Boba Fett, which is hilarious because the same guy made both of those. He made that one episode of The Mandalorian, and then they gave him the Book of Boba Fett, and his action sets were even worse in the Book of Boba Fett compared to that one, which was already terrible. But I did a ton of work, and that is in The Way of Mandalore Book 4, The Way. If you are interested in watching, send an email to acbagel@gmail.com, or find me on originaltrilogy.com, or the Discord, Movies Remastered, or Reddit. Any honorable mentions? Stuff I like but don't know much about. That's a good question. I mean, Lord of the Rings, I guess, would be next. Like I've seen the movies a couple times. I played a couple of the video games. Oh, as weird as it sounds, I really liked Narnia. The Chronicles of Narnia, I think, had some potential. It's really interesting when you see, like, C.S. Lewis did not have a vision of the whole saga. He had, like, the prequel story and then the Chronicles of Narnia and one more, and then it really falls off. There's potential there. Who bought it? Did Netflix buy? I think they were going to try and remake everything from him. I don't have much faith in that attempt, but I like Narnia growing up. That's like a good, of course, like kid story that teaches you some moral lessons as you're growing up and all. I really never got into animes much. I respect how I know a lot of people say they have great stories, and I am a story first type of person, so like the art style is odd to me as someone who never grew up watching animes, but I respect storytelling in any format, so I started watching the original Full Metal Alchemist. It definitely has a great story behind it. I'll watch the newer version too, but I was enjoying that. Pull up my Steam library, I guess. I'll leave it there. I gotta get to work. What's your favorite SWA? I know DC stuff, Star Wars somewhere in there. What else is in your top 3 to 5? I hate this glitch. Dude, Premiere has so many bugs. It just does this out of nowhere, and if you close and reopen it, it's fine. No idea why it happens. Okay, let's get the subtitles at least, and then I have to freaking restart Premiere. Watched the first Narnia movie. Love Lord of the Rings. Nice. Don't know much about it. Never read the books. Only the movies and extended editions. Best trilogy of all time. Yeah, probably. I mean, it is pretty perfect as like for what it was doing. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. For sure, great characters, great overall plot, good like spiritual themes that you can take forward in life. Learn lessons about yourself and others. Universal lessons that appeal to all of any age. Have you ever read any Edgar Rice Burroughs? His John Carter of Mars books influenced Star Wars, Superman, Flash Gordon, Avatar, and more. Pretty much invented space opera. I have not read Edgar Rice Burroughs. I want to see like the... It sounds like it would be up my alley. Oh, that's old. Dang. Okay, that's what you're talking about. John Carter of Mars. Cool. Wow. 11th book in this series. Interesting. I'm intrigued. I've really always wanted to get into Dune too. I think I would like it a lot. I haven't even watched the movies. As crazy as that sounds, I haven't. I'm waiting for the third one. Like when I go into something, I go in. So like when I decided to go into The Witcher those years ago, it was like I'm dedicating the next year of my life to The Witcher, and I read all 4,000 or 5,000 pages of the books, all the comics, then played all the games. Probably it took over a year for me to do all that. Oh, that's why you like it, isn't it, Hardwick? The Gods of Mars, you got that edition on your shelf? Ay. Okay. was I saying here? Dang it, I like forgot. I forgot exactly what I wrote. I said, according to Creed, it, according to Creed, the dark saber must be claimed in honorable battle. Is that what I said? Must be won, yeah. Whoever wields it may claim the title of Mandalore. According to Creed, yeah, because that's the dark saber must be won in honorable battle. Okay. According to Creed, the dark saber must be won in honorable battle. I hate when it does that. That looks terrible.
Balgar suvarir te kando.
It's still too loud. Give it a little more echo, a little less decibel. Nice. That works really well. That line is great. And then the next line we just worked on is... Where's that? Okay. Mandalore the Ultimate previously wielded this saber, and all Mandalorians followed him and brought the Old Republic to her knees. Probably gonna take me it's a long line, very long voice line.
If, however, it is not won in combat and falls into the hands of the undeserving, it will be a curse unto the nation.
Unto the nation. Okay.
Mandalore. Mandalore te anila dajor ganari bich beskat balahan mandoa de rushe ke mikaish bal narir te ruglat sad droten at kaish motun.
It's pretty fast. I'll slow that down a little bit.
Mandalore te anila dajor ganari bich beskat balahan mandoa de rushe ke mikaish bal narir te ruglat sad droten at kaish motun.
Nice. Sounds good. It's a lot of words, though. That's a mouthful. Mandalore, the Ultimate, once wielded this saber, and all Mandalorians. Let's see if I can fit that in. Mandalore, the Ultimate, once wielded this saber, and all Mandalorians. Oh, it's doing the same thing. It's one letter off again. I think I just have to go once wielded this saber. This is going to be a lot for people to read. So I have to be very... But she's talking so fast.
Mandalore te anila dajor ganari bich beskat balahan mandoa de rushe ke mikaish beskat bala ganari bich beskat balahan.
Just like that is as far as you can go.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bich beskat bala. Mandoa de
Okay, Mandalore the Ultimate once wielded this saber. Can make this a little bigger too. Where'd it go?
beskat balahan mandoa de
Oh, I brought the wrong one. There we go. According to Creed, the Darksaber must be won in an honorable battle. Mandalore the Ultimate once wielded this saber. And And all Mandalorians followed him and brought the Old Republic to her knees. Might be too long. And all Mandalorians followed him.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bich beskat balahan mandoa de beskat Ari bich beskat balahan mandoa de rushe kemikaish balnari.
Got a word here. SWA number 1 is DC. Number 2, Spider-Man. Ooh, nice. So you're a superhero guy through and through. I definitely like a lot of the superhero stuff. I grew up pretty much only with Batman video games and Spider-Man video games and the Spider-Man movies. Unfortunately, very sadly, I didn't get to watch the Batman animated that I know was so great. I've heard. I still haven't watched it. So I grew up, I would say, with definitely a respect and a fondness towards the superhero genre. I mean, who doesn't have it influence them in some capacity? And I've always, like, I'm an odd bean because I was always like the jock and the nerd at the same time. Like, I'm as nerdy as it gets for sure. But you know, I played football and trained MMA and went in the army and stuff. So I have 2 wolves inside of me, whatever that stupid thing is. No, but like I definitely enjoyed the superhero stuff, but I wouldn't say like I'm a Marvel fan or necessarily a DC fan. But I like a lot of the characters, and they brought me a lot of joy growing up as a kid. Star Wars, I just didn't have room for more heroes. Like, I had all my heroes in Star Wars. And that was it. Everything else was just bonus.
Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bich beskat balahan mandoa de rushe kemikaish balnarir te ruglat sad droten at kaish motun.
So my last line for her here is, I gotta say something about, this is like her shot at Bo-Katan. But if not won in battle, I gotta be like, you are as an outsider, essentially. Darmanda. Like, it's dishonorable to the extreme. Hardwick. Another great influential pulp writer was Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan the Barbarian, Solomon Kane, Cole the Conqueror, and more. Almost all sword and sorcery. Nice. That. I want to look him up too. I love giving these people their due and not letting them be forgotten. I've never... Wow, he died at 30. That's tragic. I've never, like, watched any of the Conan stuff or read any of the Conan stuff yet. Did he get sick? He did work then in those 30 years. Yeah, what a beast. Well, that's why Hardwick likes him. Giving you crap, man. Oh, he committed suicide? Oh. Wow. Dang. That's brutal. Ouch. Oh, 8 hours. Oh my goodness. Then his mother died. Oh my. Wow. So I bet his works really reflect this. I mean, his mental health struggles. He had physical health issues, mental health issues, and he still did so much before succumbing to the depression. Wow. That's pretty brutal. That mental health stuff is no joke, people. That stuff is very, very, very serious. You gotta always be checking yourself, and nobody can do it alone. If you had to pick like one thing from him to read, what would you recommend I start with? I mean, I've heard of course, Conan and Solomon Kane and all. I just haven't. King Cole I've heard of. I just haven't read it. Very interesting. How big is your headache? It's getting there. It genuinely is. Like when I want to edit, I don't necessarily want to spend 2 hours digging into Mandalore and making voice lines. You know, I like when the story progresses, but sometimes I gotta progress the story myself. Okay, where were we? Okay, I'm writing this last line, so I need to convey the message that if the Darksaber is not won in battle, it is a horrendous disgrace.
Mandalore will be laid to waste.
And I can... Okay, I've got room to work with because the structure of her conversation, she's still talking about that. So I get the Darksaber.
Unto the nation.
A disgrace unto the nation.
Mandalore will be laid to waste, and its people scattered to the four winds.
Again, I just do not like that phrasing. I don't like anything about that line.
The hilt is of a quality of Beskar I have never seen before.
It would.
Oh, I might leave that in basic for in there.
The hilt is of a quality of Beskar I have never seen before.
That's fine. I like when the transitionary phrases are in basic. It like really clearly moves the conversation to another point.
It was forged over 1,000 years ago by the Mandalore Tar Vizsla.
And I'm definitely changing that because we're not keeping that plot line.
He was both Mandalorian and Jedi.
And that is so on the nose and expository.
I met Jedi.
I have met Jedi. Oh my gosh, this dialogue is weak. Hardwick recommends starting with The Coming of Conan the Cimmerian, which is the first volume of Del Rey's reprints of his Conan stories, unaltered original text and great illustrations. Okay. Coming of Conan the Cimmerian. Collecting some of the Conan stories by Robert E. Howard. Oh, I was about to, like, type in my library and just dox the crap out of myself right now. I'll do it later. I was about to check it out at the library. It's like, do I want to put my local library all over the interwebs? Not yet. SWA has been trying to edit something. Gets burnt out, try to think of ideas, eventually get a headache, use a tablet, so you use a video editor. Oh, okay. Have you ever tried to edit DC stuff? Or are you like passionate about the DC media compared to the comics and stuff, which, you know, of course is what it's all based on? Have you tried to fix any of it? I would say, tell me if I'm wrong. You're definitely the master here. I feel like DC is in a worse place than Star Wars. Oof. I said it. I might... They're pretty close. They're just not doing the right thing with the DC universe. Not at all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a mess. It's like for a while they wanted to be Marvel, and then they're like, oh wait, we're not Marvel, we need to be something else, and then they tried way too hard to be something else, and it's like, just be DC. Just be faithful to the old stuff. I mean, that's the advice for everything that goes wrong. Every franchise that goes wrong, it's because they stray from what made it great in the first place. In order to remove the music and such, use a different app. Automatically merges the audio with the video. Thankfully, no VFX or change specific. Okay, well, that all sounds quite handy. Email. Oh, look at that. I got an email request for the Way of Mandalore. Hi. I recently came across your channel on YouTube and saw that you have been tooling away at the Mandalorian and reworking the overarching narrative of the 3 seasons of Mando in the Book of Boba Fett. I watched a few different fan edits out there, but yours has sounded the most intriguing thus far, and I would most appreciate a link to your edits, if possible. Best. This person. Thank you so much, this person. I am going to promptly send that to you immediately. I know there was like one time where I requested an edit and it got back to me within like a couple minutes, and I was like hype about that. So I'm about to bless this person. Stay blessed, King. I'm not going to dox him. You see that this attorney-client privilege and secrecy I enact here? If you email me a request, if you send me a request, period, I will never share it with anyone. Yeah, how noble of me. Boom, sent. I hope you have fun, my friend. Enjoy, and I would love to be able to release this movie to you within the next century, but in order to do so, I have to spend probably 50 more hours studying Mandoa and writing Mandoa. I got more DMs. Okay, that one's just a thank you for another request. What else? Alright, I'm clear. And back to Mandoa. Okay, I'm writing her lines right here. So we're going to say, like, but if this blade is not won in battle, zip.
Mandalore will be laid to waste, and its people scattered to the 4 winds.
Okay. Okay, so let's be less on the nose with everything. Let's use a little more like color in our speech. Utilize this forbidden thing called nuance. Watch your career with great interest. Okay, so let's communicate it this way. So Mandalore, the ultimate, once wielded the saber. But, let's say, but if taken by unworthy hands without the trial of combat. Zzz. The blade brings division, cursing clan and owner / Mandalore alike. That should get me to the end. But if taken by unworthy hands without a trial of combat, that's what I need right now. Okay. Let's see what it can give me. But if taken by unworthy hands without a trial of combat. Taken. There's no word for taken. Come on. Usually it's just, it doesn't take. Yeah. Just take the past. Rubili. But if taken by unworthy. They're like worthy? Trustworthy. So essentially you're saying worthy of trust. So is it just niche? Worthless. Oh, okay, and that's a completely different root word. The niche. Okay, that idea isn't gonna work. Value. That's valuable. That's not really what I. Interesting. That's an interesting application of that word. This is like a Mandalorian phrase. Looking to the future. It's a great phrase. Unworthy worth. Oh, thank you so much, SWA. Very, very kind of you. Yeah, thank you. That you've lifted my spirits to continue this grind deep into the late night. Probably got another 30 minutes left in me, to be honest. I can crank this out. I definitely want to finish this scene. I do not. I hate when I like start a scene and I can't finish it in one sitting. I like to feel accomplished by. I mean, this one goes on a long time though. By this scene, I at least need to get to like here. I would love to get to here by the end of the night, and that might be doable. Really appreciate that, man. Okay. Alright, yes, I'm looking for a way to convey unworthy. I'm going to have to go back into the thesaurus, I think. I mean, like, I guess you could say, like, cursed, maybe? To curse by cursed. You could say that. To curse. But that's more like speaking. There's definitely something here. I know there would be. A lot of the words about this, I think, come in like the M's with the way they like refer to Mandalore. Like I'm. What is like an unworthy Mandalorian called? Mandu Adrardegu. I use that in my next film, book 6. I've made a good amount of book 6. Still a lot of work to be done, but there's a lot already completed. Man, this one's killing me. Rotten. And that could work. If taken by rotten hands, like you're conveying unworthy, gross, offensive, like bad motives. That might be the best I've found so far. By Kaiola Hans. I don't have a word for hand. Nope, that might be it. Gauntlet. That's probably what I'm going to end up using. Look at that luck. SWA blessed me. And look at that. I found 2 words right next to each other. Oh, this one's better. Sorry. Blessing destroyed. Yeah. Okay. Ruhibi. But if taken by unworthy hands without so I need trial and combat. There's probably definitely some word that conveys this thing. I probably want this. This is the word for combat. How the heck do you say that? Akalanedat. 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 Okay. Oh, I need like trial. It's almost like a duel. You could say like a fight by... No, not fight by combat. It needs to be like a test. A test. To test. Yeah, like a combat validation, essentially. That works. So I got my sentence. But, if taken by unworthy hands without a trial of combat. Heck yeah. And then the dark saber retracts. Zzz. Done. Gross. That's terrible. She's talking so fast, it feels like. I do not like that. Let's try this. Change some settings. That's a lot better. Wasn't 100% happy with that, but settings are working out now. No. I like that one. I think that works. Throw her in there. Oh, hey, Premiere fixed that glitch of itself. Look at that! Your blessing did work, my friend. There's no doubt. Why won't this go away? I've got like a window that will not get off my screen. There we go. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Pull in the voice line. Ooh. First wave of fatigue is hitting, but I will not let it stop me.
at Kaishmotun. Amehruhi be the cure lagan uresanar lekir beaka leneda.
It's pretty good. Might slow it down just a wee bit. And throw on the room echo. But if taken by unworthy hands without a trial of combat. Boom. Perfect. Way too loud. Nice. That works. That works. I might speed it up just a tiny bit. That felt fine. Okay. Unrelated. James Gunn is overrated. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he had full creative control. Movie wasn't great. Superman trailer seemed like a mishmash of Man of Steel and other stuff for their Guardians of the Galaxy type film. Man, who would you say directed the best DC movie in the 2000s? Can you count like the whole Christopher Nolan Batmans? Because they weren't like DC verse. I don't know if you count those or where those fall into DC folks' rankings. And then tell me, like, what's the direction they should go next? I've heard The Penguin is really good. I want to watch The Penguin. I watched the Batman. It was that was like the moodiest movie I have ever seen. like he had a tone he wanted to deliver through that film, and he just went like crank it up to 1,000 the entire movie. It wasn't terrible in my opinion, but I also wouldn't say it was great. I don't know. Like, I have no clue what DC needs to do to fix themselves. I don't know where you start with DC. The DC stuff I grew up with was... I grew up with a lot of the old Batman games. I remember fighting Mr. Freeze. I can't remember the name of these games, but that's kind of what like introduced me to Batman. And then I watched the Justice League show, which that was probably the only DC cartoon I grew up watching. Teen Titans I watched too, actually. Those were good. They had this like fighting game on the DC website, this Teen Titans fighting game. I gotta try and find that. This is so old. Yes, this is it. Oh my gosh. This was it. This is... this, like... I played the crap out of this. Mammoth. Cinderblock. Yep. Oh, wow. This is taking me back. Gizmo. Jinx. Yep. Beast Boy. Cyborg. Cyborg was my main. Starfire, of course, Raven and Robin. Yeah, I love that. You could like call in Beast Boy with this. This game was absolutely amazing for like a free Flash game on the website. This was freaking free. Literally is better than AAA releases. 2003. Wow, it like takes place in the series too. I didn't even know that. That's so cool. I had so much fun with this. What was the Batman video game that I played? I mean, I of course I played like Arkham Asylum, but I'm trying to think more when I was like a kid. I was like teenager by Arkham Asylum. I played a game before that for sure. Was it Dark Tomorrow? It might have been Dark Tomorrow on the Xbox. Is Mr. Freeze in Dark Tomorrow? Oh, worst Batman game ever? What? Don't do that to me. Maybe I started with the worst Batman game ever.
That corner and spam kicked him.
I don't think it was that one. It had to be one. Well, Mr. Freeze, yeah. Vengeance. Was it Vengeance or Dark Tomorrow? It was one of these two, I think. This looks familiar. I was definitely doing this as a kid. I played that. Yep. This is the one I played. Yeah, it's like the more cartoon style one. That would. Where's Vengeance? Yeah, I was gonna say that. I played it on the Xbox. So Dark Tomorrow was after. I might have gotten like Dark Tomorrow from Blockbuster at some point. This looks a little familiar. I probably had it for like a week, but I had Vengeance on the OG Xbox. And then I went from... as weird as this sounds, I played this at my orthodontist. They had like an Xbox like in their waiting area for the kids, and before all my appointments, I was playing Batman Begins at the orthodontist. I had braces for 4 years. That was miserable. My teeth were messed up. Then straight to Arkham Asylum. Yep. And I played this one. I played that one. I started Origins, and it felt so different from the other ones that I only played a few hours, and I was like, what the heck? What is this? And I never played Arkham Knight. Big fan of this. I mean, like, of course it throws a wrench into the DC narrative. It's not like faithful Batman, but that's kind of the whole Telltale shtick. Yeah, like, if you've played the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy, like, the game opens where Rocket, like, kills Thanos in, like, the first 10 minutes. And you're like, what? Is this the VR one? Oh, that's just the... Okay. I really hope this gets a season 2. Telltale is such a mess. Those devs have some issues with marketing and such. Oh, Injustice. I played Injustice. Is that in DC? What? Oh, not Injustice. I'm thinking of course, Injustice is. I played Injustice 1. What am I thinking? Infamous is what I was thinking of. I played Infamous. Multiverses, I played that when it first came out. I definitely got my DC lore through Multiverses. Anyways, good distraction. Thank you. Back to work. Did I record this? I think I got the line right. Oh no, I didn't. Did I not even do the words yet? Oh my gosh, I didn't even start this next one. Okay, but if taken by unworthy hands without a trial of combat, the blade, this blade brings division, cursing Mandalore and their clan alike. I actually might say the clans. Okay, so this blade brings, I don't have a word for bring. Yeah, to summon, this works fine. This blade brings division. Divide? Divorce. Interesting. That's one option. No longer a parent. Dang. Weird. Parental divorce by child. That's brutal in Mandalorian culture. Idiot. Conflict. Strife. Trying to think what is more synonymous with division. Divorce is probably not the right word. Like, what about separation? Separated a part of people. This is probably a better word. Yeah. Dartome. Brings, rather than, yeah, much better than divorce. Brings Dartome. They didn't have a word for, like, curse was, I guess you could do this. What it's here. That means more like to swear at someone. I'm trying to, like, a witch's curse. Is there something else? Aruetish. The German use of bitte. I don't know what that means. You're welcome. Why is that, like, specifically German? What's unique about that? Ooh. I'm fine with that word. I need something more like to curse. I think that'll work. Like, Dormanda is... Timogolka, that's like the harshest word. This and Demogolka are like the worst things you can call someone. That one's bad. Shabweir is also bad. Okay, I'm fine with cursing Mandalore and the clans. Maybe something like instead of alike together. Tome. Ibich. Okay. Ibich Galakior, Dartome, Oritsir, Mandalore, Beldok. See, it can't, I mean, it's elite. Couldn't find clan. Okay, here we go.
Ibika la kior dartome oritsir Mandalore balte alitome.
It's not bad.
Ibika la kior dartome oritsir Ibika la kior dartome oritsir Mandalore balte alitome.
Cursing Mandalore clans alike.
Ibika la kior dartome oritsir Mandalore balte alitome.
I don't like how she's saying the tome at the end.
Ibichka la kior dartome oritsir Mandalore balte alitome.
That one's pretty good too. One of the two I downloaded should work. And we've got another preview from the Goobinator. Oh my goodness! You're kidding me. Ask and I shall receive. Holy smokes. He's doing it. He's animating the Malachor lightning. Wow. That's cool. Nice, man. It's great work. Great work. Okay, let's wrap this scene up. Oh, man, I wanted to get to here. Oh,
It
man.
was forged over 1,000.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it that far.
Completed your quest.
I have.
Then you
I forgot how I had to rewrite all of this. It's so
he
clunky.
was both Mandalorian and Jedi.
I have met Jedi.
I hate that dialogue. I have met Jedi. Like, you, what? It's so awkwardly phrased. And she's like teaching. I hate this, like teaching them like they're a baby. You're talking to Paz Vizsla and Din Djarin. Din is like 40. Paz is like 40. This saber was in his house. Who are you? I just think of like 3 military veterans who have served together for decades. And then you're standing around and he's like teaching them how to take their gun apart. Like they're a private again. That's what it feels like when this is happening. Like, treat these men with respect. Yeah. Like, she has the rank. And she's still like a mentor and an ancestral history keeper, but you don't have to be...
He was both Mandalorian and Jedi.
You're telling me that neither, like, Din doesn't know who Tara Vizsla is? And didn't know that he was a Mandalorian and a Jedi? Just dumb. I'm gonna have to rewrite all of that, which is... Let me just get this last chunk in and I'll call it a night, unfortunately. Oi, oi, oi. Okay. And then I liked one of these 2 recordings.
Ibika la kior dartome oritsir Mandalore balte alitome. Ibichka la kior dartome oritsir Mandalore balte alitome.
Yeah, that second one is much better. But if taken by unworthy hands without a trial of combat, zzz,
Ruhibi de kior lagan uresanar lekir beaka lenedas. Bichka la kior dartome oritsir Mandalore balte alitome.
but if taken, this blade brings division, cursing Mandalore and clan alike.
Roten at Kaishmotun. Amehruhi bi de Cure Lagan Uresanar Lekir Beaka Lenedas. Ibich Kalakior. Ibich Kalakior Dartome Orit. Ibich Kalakior.
Just looking at the timing of these lines.
Droten at Kaishmotun. Amehruhi bi de Cure Lagan Uresanar Lekir Beaka Lenedas. Ibich Kalakior.
Because I don't like how the subtitles switch like that. If I go here, is that too much of a pause?
Bi de Cure Lagan Uresanar Lekir Beaka Lenedas. Ibich Kalakior Dartome Oritzer Mandalor Balte Ali Tome.
That works. It's a little bit long of a pause.
Kaishmotun.
Move that over just a tiny bit.
Amehruhi.
Oh, see, I messed up the subtitles there. Oh, it's... Ah, shoot. I'd have to go, like, all the way here.
Amehruhi bi de Cure.
That would have to go.
Amehruhi bi de Cure Lagan Uresanar Lekir Beaka Lenedas.
I don't like the delivery on top of that Darksaber thing as much. This is as far as I can push it. Yeah. Ah, then this is messing me up though. I had to-
Amehruhi bi de Cure Lagan Uresanar Lekir Beaka.
Can I move this over a little bit?
Rijata Khan. Mandalore.
Needs a fade.
Rijata Khan. Mandalore te anila da jor ganari bich beskat balahan mandoa de rusheke mikaish balnarir te ruglat sad droten at kaish motun. Amehruhi bi de Cure Lagan Uresanar Lekir Beaka Lenedas. Ibich Kalakior Dartome.
Getting close.
Ibich Kalakior Dartome Oritzer Mandalor Balte Ali Tome.
The hilt is of a quality of Beskar I have never seen before.
It was forged old.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave Din there, and then I need to cut her, and this is gonna be for tomorrow. That is where I am gonna wrap it up for tonight. Good work, squad. We got through a solid... We built a... Oh, is that okay? We're basically right at 4 hours. A solid 45 seconds of film. In how long have I been streaming? 2.5 hours for 45 seconds. There we go. Let's throw the last chat in there. Thanks everybody who was able to tune in tonight. Good talks, good topics brought up. Good stuff. I'm going to close this stream. And I'll be back sometime in the future. Sometimes in the next couple days. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe not. I'm unpredictable.